Hello there friends and welcome back to more Bravely Default. Last time, Tiz and Agnes were given a test by Sage Ilyana to see if we were willing to stay in this world. But everyone in our party agreed that our mission is more important and that we need to see this journey to its very end. So, today we're going to be heading to Sage Ilyana and giving him our answer to his question. But first things first, let's go ahead and just do a quick update on Rende Village. Nothing new, 15 minutes still left on the Silver Glaive. But with that little segment out of the way, we're gonna head straight to the Needleworks. And I'm gonna say right now, make sure you can lower both physical and magical attacks. And save up if you need to. Alright, let's head inside.
It would seem you've made a decision, a unanimous one by the look on your faces. Need I remind you, you've been given a chance to live the rest of your lives among those you hold dear?
We know, and those people are right here beside us.
That the four of us met is a fate we all hold dear. That's right. And that's why we'll go on.
Right, the four of us together.
Well spoken indeed. Now, last but not least, let us assess your growth so far.
Wait, you don't mean...
That is just what I mean. A job. A legend born 1,800 years past. The Conjurer Ilyana stands before you.
Sage did mention that his job was to kill Agnes and crew if he spotted the evil one. Now, while I don't think he's going to try and kill us here, it does make sense that he would want to test us physically for the journey ahead. So, Conjurer Ilyana. This is our final asterisk job that we need to obtain. And it's behind our old man friend. He utilizes Invocation to boost his stats to its maximum, and then hits us really hard with both physical and magical attacks. So, you have to balance both of those stats in order to make sure that he is not overwhelming you with his attack power. This is definitely a fight that I can see a lot of people struggling with in their first few playthroughs. Honestly, my strategy won't change very much from a lot of other encounters, especially similar to, like, Brave the Templar and whatnot. I'm going to be lowering his physical and magical stats as much as possible, and as consistent as possible, so that way his damage will not become overwhelming. He does not have any weaknesses, so we'll have to make one for him, so we're going to go ahead and have Idia just default for right now. There's Curse, that'll lower his stats for right now. Agnes is going to be our MVP here. Promethean Fire. He's boosting his power. He's now boosted his physical attack to its maximum. Now, Agnes is going to be your MVP here. Please bring a healer, something that has access to white magic, because you can utilize Dispel to remove his invocation buffs. It is such an important fact that you bring that because it will make your life so much more easier. So let's go ahead and heal ourselves up before Ilyana gets the chance to attack us. Ilyana has access to Amp Strike from the Pirate, and will utilize that to his advantage when he has physical attack power. He also has access to Meteor, which is where our magic attack lowering needs to come from. And he has access to invocations that will raise his magic attack, which will make Meteor a lot more difficult to deal with. You can kind of see how this fight can be a bit of a pain in the butt. So, one thing I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to apply Re-Raise, because there's a very high chance that we are going to lose our allies quite often here. I'm going to have Ring-a-Bell go ahead and Brave here to heal with White Wind, and then we also need to remove his... Actually, let's not curse him just yet. Let's just White Wind. I'll curse him whenever I'm about to go on the offense here. We're gonna have Idia go ahead and apply. Let's go ahead and apply Firaga. I mean, Blizzaga. You know, it's different. It's not Thundaga. It's something different. White Wind, heal everyone up. Get everyone topped off. Blizzaga, re-raise. Now, hopefully, he won't do as much damage. Promethean Fire, this will raise his physical attack, which is unfortunate. We need to dispel that once more. So we're going to dispel that. Agnes is not going to get a lot of turns to act. So let's go ahead and Brave with her. Dispel, and then we'll go ahead and haste once more. And then Tiz, we will preemptively lower his magical attack again, because the spell will remove it. And then we're going to have Ring a Bell. Ring a Bell's slower than Agnes, so we can apply Curse. And we can also apply our weakness buff to him. Insect Antenna and a Permacrystal. There we go. And we'll have Idia go ahead and... yeah, we'll go ahead and do Moonshadow, I think. Yeah. There we go. Spell. That'll get rid of his buffs, but we're faster, so we can apply our debuffs as soon as we can. There we go. There's his debuff, Water Bane, and Moonshadow. There we go. Okay, not bad damage, but obviously I understand why it's not doing that much. Skull Bash. Okay, his stats are now in the dark. Bam Strike. Yeah, look how much damage that did, even though his physical attack was down. That is insane. Okay, we'll need to play safe here. We're gonna have but we're gonna have Tiz go ahead and Moonshadow as well. We're gonna try and play this really safe. So I think I'm gonna give an X potion to Agnes. Maybe she can live like an attack from like a meteor or something. And then we're gonna have Idia attack normally, speed things up. Yeah, Sage Juliana has a crap load of HP, so this is going to be a long fight. So we need to keep our buffs up as much as possible. If we can get a Lux, I would be okay with that, but I don't think we will. Amp Strike on Agnes again. Oh my goodness, dude. Okay, we'll raise Agnes, and then we're gonna have to Ring a Bell Default, and I'm gonna send Idia into the negative. We'll go ahead and actually have her Ikikase to raise her hit count, and then we'll have her attack twice. That'll increase her damage by quite a bit. There we go. All right, that's a decent amount of damage. He should be fairly low. Okay, there's Promethean Fire. He's gonna be going for Amp Strike soon. Unfortunately, we can't mitigate his damage, but thankfully we have Re-Raise equipped. So we can at least try to lower his physical attack as much as possible with his. So let's go ahead and lower it if we can. And then we'll go ahead and... where is White Wind? I need White Wind. There's White Wind. All right, cool. Lower it as much as possible. The Fang. Okay, it's only at 100%. Deus Ex. There goes his magic attack. We need to get rid of that as soon as possible. Agnes is going to go back into the negative, get haste going, and dispel. You can also utilize Reflect to remove Meteor's main threat presence, but I'm okay with that right now. It's okay. I'm utilizing Re-Raise as my main anchor point here right now. We have haste, so we're going to have Ring a Bell, Brave a few times. We're going to get White Wind prepping, and then we're going to curse him again. And then we're going to... I think we're going to go ahead and widen area. And... no, that's not needed. We have White Wind going. So then we can probably curse White Wind, and we'll call it there for right now. There we go. We'll get everyone back up to healthy points. There we go. Deus Ex, he's going to remove his... he's going to raise his magic attack again. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to Dispel, and then I'm going to Reflect. Because thankfully White Wind doesn't get affected by Reflect, so we'll just go ahead and do that. And then Tiz is going to free lunch for next turn, and then Ring a Bell is going to curse once more. And we're gonna have Idiot default. Dispel, Reflect, Curse, free lunch, Meteor. Oh, that's right. His doesn't go. Oh man, you can tell I haven't played this game in a while because his will go through it. Of course it will. That's okay though. That's okay. He's still lowered on his buffs. We're actually, I think I'm actually gonna go on the offense here. We're gonna lower his magical attack, and then we're gonna go ahead and just Amp Strike as much as we can. We don't have an attack buff, So we're going to have to hope that our damage is enough. So we're going to create a weakness, and then we're going to have Idia exploit that weakness as much as possible. Maybe this might be enough. Hopefully. We'll see. Skull Bash. Amp Strike, Amp Strike. Come on. Finish him off. Not having the quick hurts. Yes! Woo! That fight is really, really something, man. You've got a lot to balance against him. He's a really, really tough opponent. There are a lot of ways to just outright cheese the encounter, but I didn't want to do any of that. And fighting him legitimately is definitely one of the hardest fights so far, if not the hardest fight. But he drops an elixir for beating him. And with that, our final asterisk has been obtained. The Conjurer asterisk. The Conjurer boosts stats by harnessing the power of summoned beasts, raises various attributes, and can use any weapon well. Their specialty is post-battle MP, and their job command is Invocation. The Conjurer's stats are basically a better Freelancers, with their normal stat affinities being fairly middle of the road for HP, Strength, and Vitality, but having an amazing MP, Intelligence, and Mind stat. In their Arms Aptitude, they have A in everything, which means they can use any weapon to its near maximum potential. The Conjurer is a bit of a fickle job, as its invocation abilities can only work on itself, and those invocation abilities will raise one of their stats to its maximum, allowing them to perform certain attacks at their best ability. They lean more towards the magical side of things when it comes to their maximum damage output, but they can be strong physical attackers, utilizing pirates or monks' abilities to a pretty good extent, or they can also be utilized as a very powerful magic attacker, utilizing things like summoning and black magic, or even ritualism from the Arcanist to an even better degree than those jobs even can. The weirdest thing about this job is that utilizing Conjurer at all pretty much locks you into only utilizing your sub-jobs for your main support or damage output, as the Conjurer only has access to Invocation. So your sub-job really matters a lot here, as the Conjurer can't do much else with its own abilities. It's an interesting job with a very unique gimmick that has its benefits, but it's also very difficult to use properly.
Such great power. You have grown strong in such a short time, Agnes.
And you, Sage, you're quite formidable for a man of your age.
Yes, well, 1900 years is a rather long span. Now, I must ask, what shall we do about the memories of those you encountered in the ordeals I prepared? I can leave them with the memories of your meeting intact, or I can wipe them from their minds.
I would ask that you leave them intact then. Even chance meetings over in a moment can provide a spark to keep a person going.
I leave it to time to claim what memories it will. That works for you too?
Fine by me.
Very well, then. It shall be as you wish. Now, it's near time we parted ways. I leave the fate of the world in your hands.
Sage!
Do not look so sad, child. I simply go to see to a little meeting I've avoided overlong. Truly, truly overlong. Now, farewell.
And so with that, we have our answer, and for finding it, we obtained the last job in our lineup, the 24th, Conjurer. Draws upon the power of otherworldly beings. This job is pretty interesting. I have my opinions on it, but watch my job overview for that. What I am going to do is that now that Sage is gone, I'm going to use his spare beds to heal off the wounds he gave us, because, whoo boy. And now that that recovery is over, there isn't anything for us to find here in his needleworks, but I do want to go ahead and mention a few extra things. For one, Conjurer is tied to the invocation abilities, which if you look, enables the use of level 1 invocation geared to Blulu. Now, one important thing to note is that Conjurer and Summoner are very closely tied together when it comes to their abilities, and if you want to utilize Conjurer to its fullest extent, you need to make sure you have all of the summons available. So, make sure you do that. Summoner is a bit unique that it needs its abilities in order to, actually attack, but Conjurer actually needs the summons in order to use its buffs too, which is a little awkward. But I do want to go ahead and look at a few things here. First things first, talking to Mazur again.
Hello, Mother?
What is it, child? You look troubled.
Oh, it's just... I've heard some...
I see.
Is it true what that Father and my
No.
Talking to her again will give you access to the cutscene that you could have gotten at the end of Chapter 5 if you missed it. Make sure to grab that, because it's a pretty important thing for later down the road. But let's see here. I don't think there's much else to discuss. This was a pretty short episode, but it's a very important one nonetheless. So, I think next time on Bravely Default, we're going to be doing another level grind session. One that I actually highly recommend you do. The other 2 sessions have been optional, and I recommend that you honestly don't do them because they aren't needed. But this one will be. I highly recommend you do this because the encounters ahead are significantly more difficult than anything we faced so far, especially if Conjure Ilyana is anything to go by. And then also, next time, I think we should finish our job and awaken the Wind Crystal. We have a lot to mull over on whether or not we want to continue with this journey, but I think today we've gotten our answer. And so, with all of that said, I'll see you soon.